Recording. Recording. Do you need another drink yet?
I probably should just grab it.
Do you have your water?
Yeah, grab my water. 600 milligrams of caffeine in me by the time we're done with this.
Where's your water?
On the other, just around the corner.
Oh. If you want another one, you almost drank all this.
No, that'd be good. Thanks.
Okay, now sit down, and then I clap. Do you want to clap?
Do the clap.
Welcome to Mostly Hunting Podcast, episode 12, I believe, right?
Yeah, we're on 12 already.
Yep.
12 weeks of us.
Yep. I don't know how or why people are still listening, but
I've listened to everyone so far.
thank you.
Thank you. You're welcome.
You guys just heard our special guest this week. He's our first, other than Nolan, our first special guest.
Yeah, pretty excited about that.
My cousin Bryan Farrell here.
I finally got to meet Bryan. I've heard a lot about him from Kyle and Camden. I don't know which one has talked more about you, but
I do talk about you quite a bit.
Yeah, thanks. I appreciate that. Don't believe anything Camden says.
okay.
Nobody
I won't.
does.
So.
So yeah, Bryan, he's been a pretty big part of my life forever, and he's kind of an honorary snow brother, kind of my third big brother. Definitely the coolest of the three of them.
Yeah. Yep.
I'd venture to say best looking. But
Doug's close second.
Yeah,
Doug's a close second.
Doug is close second. Yeah.
But yeah, Bryan, go ahead and you can do a little introduction of yourself here.
Yeah, so like Kyle said, I started archery hunting out in Idaho. I had moved out, grew up here, and then moved out west with my dad, and grew up out west hunting. So that's one of the reasons why we're here today, to just talk a little bit about elk hunting. But started archery hunting out there when I was 12. I worked in the High Country Archery Pro Shop out in Lewiston, Idaho, because that's where High Country Archery started at. And then the three owners of High Country Archery, they broke off, and the one owner, Bob Proctor, started Alpine Archery, and then Dave Powers broke off and started Clearwater Archery. And so I worked in the pro shop out there, and then moved back to Pennsylvania and started working for Rich at Indoor Outfitters when they were still at the roller skating rink. So
What years are we talking out now?
oh boy, so I moved out, so I was 12. I think I had just turned 12 when I moved out to Idaho. So, and then grew up out there and all the way through high school, and then moved back here when I graduated high school, and don't tell my wife, but been trying to get back ever since. So
I don't blame
I was
you.
going to say,
Yeah.
what brought you back to
yeah,
Pennsylvania?
come back here to go to school, and then I just you know, the Lord has plans for us all, and just, you know, I'm pretty sure most days I'm where I'm supposed to be.
Right.
So yep.
We all wonder sometimes.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, we spent some time out in Idaho a few years ago.
That was a really, really fun trip.
So you own property out there?
Yeah. So pretty fortunate enough that my best friend and his son, Preston, and their whole family, that's who I pretty much grew up with out there. Actually lived with Boyers. Everybody tells me I should write a book. We could go off on rabbit trails all day long, but I lived with my best friend Michael Boyer and his family pretty much all the way through high school. And when moved back here, and then, you know, fast forward, Michael's dad passed away, and Tammy and I had an opportunity to buy a piece of property from them, because we had talked about wanting to buy a piece of property and build out there. So we were able to help Michael's mom out when Bruce passed away, and we bought a piece of property off of them. And since then we've built a barndominium on that, which is really cool. So we spent a lot of time out there last couple years working on it, and got it mostly finished now. We're taking out some furniture when we go out here in just a couple weeks. We're leaving to go out elk hunting and take some furniture out, and and then I probably put in a plug for Ass Crack Outfitters while we're talking about stuff.
Yeah.
So
See,
Yeah.
everybody sees
yeah,
our
yeah,
hats.
that's probably
Matching hats.
So Preston, which is like my nephew, and Michael, we decided that it'd be fun to try to do something a little bit different. And hunting blinds are not really a thing out in Idaho. But I contacted 360 Hunting Blinds and talked to them, and so 3 years ago now we started the business, and it's called Ass Crack Outfitters. It's a long story behind Ass Crack Outfitters, but that's just what we've always called whenever I go out there hunting with Michael and Andrea and the kids and everything out there. I've just always called it Ass Crack Outfitters. So when we were looking to start the business, and we talked about the name, and I told Michael, I said, well, there's only one thing we can call it. We've got to call it Ass Crack Outfitters. So
And tell us about your logo.
yeah, so on the logo, when you look at it, it's kind of the horns kind of form like a butt cheeks and then a crack on the yeah, it's
pretty subtle. I didn't notice it at first.
it is pretty subtle.
Mhm.
So, but yeah,
I would've never noticed that either, unless you said something.
we have had everybody. Well, I can't imagine anybody had a problem with their business name, but I didn't ever think that there was a problem with our business name. But I do have to change the website because we got flagged as a pornography website.
Oh gosh.
So, and there's nothing that Google can do to fix it. So we have to change our name up a little bit. But
Maybe
yeah,
just shorten it or something.
yeah,
like
well,
AC.
I wanted to do AC because we go by ACO also because the Amish 360 hunting blinds had a little bit of a problem with our name too. So I changed. So I have two doing businesses as we have ACO and we have AC Outfitters and then Ass Crack Outfitters. So, but so yeah, we're the 360 hunting blind dealer for Washington, Oregon, Idaho, Montana, and Wyoming. And it's been going really good. Preston kind of takes care of all of the blind deliveries, and Michael helps in the background and putting together blinds, and we've been doing really good with it. I think what I would like to do eventually with it, and I have to be out there to spend time with it, is I think if I was able to do actually site prep and deliveries and get a skid steer and an excavator that we could go out and we could do site prep, and I really think we could do a lot more with it, but neither one of those guys have time right now. So
Right.
it's been pretty much self-sustaining right now, which is good. So we just picked up another it's a blind trailer. The name of the company that they're over in Lancaster too, it's Clear Sight Outdoors. They have a really cool trailer that I stumbled across at the Harrisburg Sportsman Show here 3 years ago when he was just getting started with it, and we had just picked up the business. But he makes a really cool blind trailer that has a scissor lift on the front of it. So to put the blind up on it, it's got outriggers on it to keep it all stable and everything. And I worked with Dustin out there at Clear Sight, and I wanted to have a multi-purpose, multi-function trailer because I didn't want to just I wanted to be able to deliver blinds on it. I wanted to be able to put a blind on it, that we could get around to different shows and things. And I wanted to be able to haul a four-wheeler or something.
Mm-hmm.
So it was cool. Dustin worked with me and kind of redesigned the trailer
That's
just
awesome.
a little bit too. So, but yeah, so he gave us the same dealership area. So we have the same Washington, Oregon, Idaho, Montana, and Wyoming for the Clear Sight trailers too. So
How high does that scissor?
so
lift
it takes
go?
it up to 8 feet
Awesome.
off the ground. So
That's plenty high.
so I really think just because, and like I said, the blinds are really new to Idaho. You just don't, and out west in general, you just don't. But now it's getting more and more popular that I would say probably 75% of the blinds that we have sold so far have went to Montana. And it's guys that have bigger pieces of property that they're taking them up and setting them up in the mountains. I mean, we had one guy that said, and he's got a pretty big ranch, but he hauled his blind up 5 miles up into his property.
Wow.
And
Really?
one of the cool things about the 360 blinds is they come in panels.
Oh.
So it makes it way easier to get them into places like that. instead of it just being one solid piece.
Mhm.
So
That is nice.
so it's been pretty cool with the blinds. And like I said, I'm kind of hoping like a retirement gig, that to be able to like travel to shows out there and be able to do a little bit more with the blinds and stuff. So it's been pretty fun though. So
That's good.
yeah.
So yeah, they weren't a big thing out there at all.
no.
No, you always see the mostly like spot stock type
Mhm.
hunting
Yeah.
out there, not kind of like this, sit there and wait kind of hunting.
Mhm. Yeah, that's pretty cool. You guys got that.
Yeah.
I mean, you living out here in the east,
Yeah.
that kind of.
Yeah, and it was funny because even Michael always thought it was a good idea, but Preston's a little bit more skeptical about stuff. But I think he was like, yeah, they're never going to sell here. But and we really haven't sold a lot of, like I said, most of them we have sold in Montana. So we have sold some in Idaho, but and one couple blinds in Washington. We haven't sold any in Oregon yet, and we haven't sold any in Wyoming yet. But
I could see why you'd want one in Washington with all the rain they get.
Yeah,
out there.
yeah. It's Washington. Well, you hear about just politics or whatever, but Washington and Oregon, when you stay on the eastern side of it, they look a lot like Montana do. It just doesn't, or like Idaho and Montana do. But when you cross over the mountains and you get in, that's why everybody on the eastern side of the mountains want to peel off of those states and become part of Idaho.
Mm-hmm.
So
I don't blame them. Idaho's pretty awesome.
yeah, it is pretty awesome.
I've never been there, but hopefully someday.
Yeah, it is pretty awesome.
I went to Wyoming in, I think it was 2015 for mule deer, and I thought that was my favorite state. And then we went to Idaho. I don't know that it's taken its place, but it's a very close second.
Mm-hmm.
Well, there's some big deer in Idaho too, isn't there?
Yeah, there are some big deer.
You've got some pretty nice ones.
I have, yeah. The last whitetail that I shot out there, it's been, I think it was 3 years ago, maybe 4 years ago. It was during COVID, because when we flew out, Michael and Preston had came back here and hunted with me for a week, and then we went out there. And I ended up shooting 175-inch whitetail out there on our property.
That's
so
a giant.
yeah,
Mhm.
it was a good one. So, and it was cool. I had Morgan, their youngest, with me when I shot it, and it was across the canyon, and he was supposed to be hunting that morning, and it was like over 500 yards, and it was standing out there, and I knew it wasn't. So I pulled the awesome uncle card, and I went ahead and shot the deer before he had an opportunity to. So, yeah,
It's 500 yards. You'll never hit
yeah,
that.
correct. So, but yeah, he was 24 inches wide, so he's like super wide too. So, and we always get some pretty. But we also have a very big problem with EHD out there because of how dry it gets. I think it was the year after that. I'm pretty sure it was a year after that. We were out there during archery season, and there were deer lying dead everywhere.
It's a shame.
And everything, I mean, it smelt so bad when you got, I mean, it was just unbelievable, the amount of dead deer. And I went back out for rifle season, was out for archery season, went back out and I mean, it would be nothing to see 100 deer while we were out in a day, and and all kinds of bucks, and I didn't see any deer, not one single deer. And I think it was the last day that we were out there, second day, and it was the last day of the season. I got an email from the Idaho Fish and Game Department and said that if you were hunting inside in our units, it's 11A, and there was another one that if you turned in your deer tag, the Idaho Fish and Game was going to refund you the money for your deer tag.
Oh,
Really?
wow.
Just because they figured that they said between 75 to 80% of the whitetail they figured got killed off by the EHD.
Good Lord. Wow.
So this year is going to be the first year, and I'm sure it's been 3 years ago, because this is the first year that we should start getting back some pretty good deer again.
Yeah, from what I've seen on the internet and stuff, now you can't believe everything you see on the internet, but it seems like they bounce back fairly quickly, a couple years.
And it's funny, it doesn't bother the elk, and it doesn't bother the mule deer. And I haven't really done a lot of research on it, but what they say, one of the big things is whitetail, like elk or mule deer, when they go up to drink, they'll paw at the water. and clear out the water before they
Oh, yeah.
drink. And whitetails don't do that.
They just walk
Stupid.
right
They
up
just
and-
walk right up and drink it, and that's
Stupid whitetails.
yeah. So
I was wondering why they were easier to kill than the others.
mm-hmm.
Wait, are they easy to kill?
I'm not
Well,
sure.
yeah.
For some people.
So talking about you deer hunting out there,
Yeah.
when you'd come back and show us pictures, me and Doug, pictures of deer that you had seen, we'd be like, why is it not dead? And Bryan would tell us, well, it was on the edge of the canyon. We're like, so? He's like, well, I'm not going down in there to get it. We're like, be a man,
It's a
shoot
long
it,
way.
and go down and get it. And he shows pictures, it doesn't look that bad. So when we were there in 22, we hunted in Elk City for what, 4 days?
Yeah, Elk
And
City.
then-
Next time, Josh and Doug said that they want to hunt Deer City, but that's
Yes.
another story.
So we'll get to that
Yeah.
funny part of that.
Yeah.
later. But we went over to the Boyers and Bryan's property for the last day, and we'd all bought mountain lion, bear, and
Mhm.
wolf tags. We were gonna go over there and predator hunt.
Yeah.
So we went to this one canyon, and Bryan's like, "We're gonna go over, sit on the edge of that." Me and Doug and Josh were like, "All right." Bryan's like, "Josh, I'll drop you a pin on Onyx. You go down in the bottom there. I got a stand down in there." So we started walking. Me, Doug, and no, you didn't go with us.
I did. I was with you guys. I was
Yeah.
sitting with you guys.
Yep. So we started walking, and it was like, it looked like it was 200, 250 yards, and like a half hour later we're still walking.
Still walking.
And I turn around to the truck, and we're like halfway in between. I'm like, what in the world? And we get to the edge of it, and we're like, oh. And me and Doug had to apologize to Bryan for all the mean things that we had said
Yeah,
to
you
him
want
over
to
the
drag a
years.
deer up
No,
out
it's
there.
it's got to be a good one. If
It's
you're gonna-
ridiculous.
Yeah.
So Josh gets down to the stand in the bottom, and we're up there in the sun. We got t-shirts on. We're sweating, and it was like an hour or whatever. And Josh texts us, me and Doug, and he's like, "I am freezing down here." We're like, "What?" He's like, "I got to sweat. I got every piece of clothing that I brought with me, and I am freezing."
There's that much of a temperature
Yeah.
difference just because he was.
And the wind
amazing.
just whips up.
Yeah.
Oh.
The way it comes down through the canyon and everything. Yeah.
So it was starting to get dark, and Josh, he's like, "I'm gonna head up out of here." So we're standing up there, and we seen him, way off to our right, just a little dot about this big, and we were looking at him through binoculars, and he's doing this, like looking around. We're like, "What is he doing?" Finally, Doug's phone rings. He's like, "Do you guys have any idea where I am?"
he got turned around. Really
Oh
bad.
no!
He's like, and you could hear a little bit of panic in his
Yeah.
voice. We're like,
So,
"Yeah, we can see you."
Yeah, I walked up to the ridge so he could see. So I was skyline so he could see us. And,
It's
yeah.
just insane how vast and huge it is out there. Like, it doesn't look like much, but
A lot different than the pictures.
yes.
and it's funny because you never like around. I mean, you go up to the big woods, up Allegheny National Forest. There's places that you can get lost in Pennsylvania, but there's places in Idaho. I mean, you can get lost and nobody's ever going to find you. I mean, first time Tammy went out there with me, we're down in this canyon, and she's like, "You come down here by yourself?" When I'm like, "Yeah." What happens if something would happen to you? I don't know.
Guess I'll
I give
look
everybody
for it.
kind of a general idea of where I'm at, but I never think about it. And so when we were, I was looking to get for shed hunting for around here for our labs. I picked up one of the Garmin. Shoot, I forget the Astro with the dog collar trackers and everything.
Okay.
And it has an inReach on it, which now even that technology is kind of a little bit outdated. I mean, I think Preston said on his phone out there now he can use his iPhone for satellite texting.
Yeah.
So which is cool. But Tammy said when I was showing her that, she says, "Well, if that has that inReach," I said, "You need," which we'll talk about on our when you start telling your story. We used that when you got your elk.
Yeah,
So-
it's super handy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it was pretty cool.
Is there anything else you want to cover before we get into a couple stories?
No, I don't think so.
No?
I did my shameless plug for Ass Crack Outfitters.
Yep.
So that's
If you guys are out west,
Yeah.
those 3-4 states you listed,
Yep.
buy a blind and a
Yeah,
trail
buy a
from Ice
blind.
Crack.
Yeah, what the heck?
Yeah.
Yep, we'll deliver it.
You'll get to meet Preston. He's
Yeah.
one of my favorite people on this earth, under 25 years old.
Yep, pretty good kid.
So yeah, in 22 we went out elk hunting in Idaho. Me, you, and Dad elk hunted.
Yep.
Did you bought an elk?
I had an elk tag also.
Yes.
Yeah, I shouldn't have bought an elk tag, but I had an elk tag as
Yeah,
well.
and Doug and
So-
Josh, they're cheapskates, and they're like, I'm not gonna buy an elk tag.
Skipped out on the elk tag.
Yeah, and we're getting on. They were pretty
What's
up
an
in
elk
the air.
tag cost out there for?
I don't remember what it
On
was.
resident.
I think it's like right around $700 now.
I think it was around $1,200 for a deer.
It was
and elk.
everything all together. It's like normally like right around $1,200.
And then you get out there and a bear tag, wolf tag, and mountain lion tag. They were $40 a piece.
Yeah,
I
$40
think.
a piece, I think.
And
is
that's
what
Over
it
the
is.
counter,
right
it's
over
like
just over the counter.
why not? Just
Yep.
we bought all
Yeah,
of them.
just in case you see something like
Yeah.
that.
So leading up to the tag buying, Doug's like, I'm not gonna get an elk tag. I'm like, why? He's like, well, if you guys kill something, I'll just get elk meat from you. I'm like, no, you won't. So anyway, him and Josh just bought a deer tag, and we're talking. Bryan told us, he's like, listen, we're gonna have to hunt for elk. We're gonna kill deer.
I did say that.
All right, good,
Yeah.
easy.
I did
Yeah,
say
I got
that.
my deer tags. We're good
Yep.
to go.
So Dad and Bryan flew out. So you got
Yes.
there 2 days before.
2
us?
days. Yep, 2 days, and 2 days before the season started
Yep.
too.
So they did some scouting. They found a really nice honey hole.
Yep.
For us, turned into a honey hole.
It did.
Me, Doug, and Josh drove out with my dad's Dodge and a trailer full of stuff, a freezer.
And that's a long
Four-wheelers.
haul, isn't it?
So it was, what did we just say, about 36
It's 36 hours.
of
Yep.
driving, not counting pee breaks. And
Yeah.
we stayed the night at Tess and BJ Katchick's the one night in somewhere in Montana. I forget what city they live in. But so we stayed one night on the way out and one night on the way back, if I recall. But oh my
That's
gosh,
a lot of driving.
it was
That
a
is
lot of
ton.
driving.
I think our
Yeah.
Kansas trip is 15 hours one way, and that's
Mhm.
long enough for me.
Yeah, and there's
Yeah.
nothing to look at on the way out there. I mean, until you get out to like South Dakota, then the scenery starts changing a little bit and it starts becoming interesting. But
And I think it was South Dakota. We were driving, and it's just not. There's nothing. It's nothing. A road and plains, and it, like the highway kind of comes up and then breaks over, and it was like a whole different world. There's a lake and a bridge, and it was like me, Doug, and Josh. We were all kind of in a trance of just driving. We're like, what just happened? Like there's this big beautiful lake. I
Are
think
we
it's
in a
South
different
Dakota.
state now?
It was crazy. But yeah, so it's pretty boring driving. Josh was ready to light South Dakota on fire on the way back because he was so sick of it. So we
That's
get
a
out there.
long haul. That's a big state you gotta go across.
Yeah. Yep. A big
and just
state.
when you think you're almost there, you're not even close.
Nope.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we finally pull in. I forget what it was. Pretty late at night, 10:30, something
Yeah.
like that when we pulled in.
Yep.
And we had a day
A day before.
before the season started.
Yep.
And we took the four-wheelers out. We did some riding on back roads and stuff like that. So the first morning, Doug and Josh, they went separate with Preston.
With Preston.
Preston came and met up, and
Yep.
I didn't realize, maybe I forgot how young Preston was, but he's just so mature
Uh-huh.
that I was like, this kid's probably close to my age, and he was 19 at
He
the
was
time. wasn't
19 at the time.
It-
Yep.
Just blown away, like just the most mature dude you could ever. So he took Doug and Josh deer hunting that day, and the funny part of that story was it was dark and foggy, and they're driving. They couldn't see anything, and
in I call them Boyer rigs. I'm sorry, Michael, if you listen to this, but some of the Boyer rigs are a little rough.
yeah. So that was a white Duramax with no heat.
Yeah, with no heat and no defrosters and anything, and Doug, we were just talking about this the other day that it was a good thing that where they went. It was dark when they went up there because they had no idea what Preston was taking them up, and on the way back down, they were not impressed where Preston had taken that truck and where they ended up because you couldn't see anything. It was dark, but on the way back, you could see plenty good.
The one Doug said to one side was a sheer drop off, and he told Preston, he's like, "I'm glad you've been on these roads before, because I sure wouldn't have been able to
He's
drive."
probably
Preston's like,
cruising
I've
right
never
around
been on this
That's
road
what
before.
Preston said. He says, "I've never been on this road before."
Wasn't even trying to make him feel
Nope.
bad.
Nope.
Uh-uh.
What are you
So-
talking about?
Yeah.
So Dad, Bryan, and I went to this place where they'd found
That we
it.
had scouted out. Yep.
We just started kind of still hunting our way up through, cow calling here and there, and walking real slow. And I forget what time it was. It was 2 or 3 hours into.
Yeah, probably.
We were 3 miles in.
Yeah.
So whatever that would have taken.
Yep.
And before we got to where my elk was, we found this. Remember the grave we found?
Yeah, and I found that again, and I took
Did you?
pictures of it. Yeah, I did. I found it when I was out there with Scott. We found it again. I don't know
Yep.
how we found it coming up that
And-
ridge again, but yeah, it's the weirdest thing.
I don't know what it is, but it's a hand dug hole with a pile of dirt next to it.
Actually, I got a picture of Preston in it.
Really?
Yeah.
So obviously somebody went up there, dug
Somebody
a
was
hole,
planning
ready
something.
to, yeah.
Yeah.
And we found it,
wow.
and it was like, well, this is creepy.
Mhm.
It is. It's extremely creepy.
Yeah. So we were still hunting through there, and we started seeing some elk sign, and started still hunting a little slower and cow calling. We ended up jumping something, went crashing up through the trees and stuff. Brian's like, you go up to that tree. He said, we'll cow call and just kind of stand here. So Dad's off to my right, and I was in front of Brian. You cow called a few
Cow
times.
called a couple times. Yep.
And so I had my rifle there, and it was just, I asked Brian the night before. I said, hey, if I see there's no point restriction. It's
Yeah.
just got to be, what, 13-inch
Yeah,
spike
correct.
or something?
Yep.
I said, if I see a 13.5-inch spike, should I wait? Brian said, no. If you see a spike, shoot it. I said, okay. So I see
It's
movement.
way more than a spike.
Yeah, he is. Yep.
Yeah.
I'm tickled to
Yeah,
death with him.
absolutely. I'd
So-
be happy to.
He was about 60, 70 yards, I think.
Mm-hmm.
And I seen him moving from my left to my right up ahead of me. And I'm like, oh my God, that's a freaking elk.
Yeah. Yep. And I was looking through my binoculars, and we both got it. We both caught up, and I was standing next to your dad, and I was like, it's a bull. It's a bull.
Yeah, and so my dad's with the right. Of course, this is the second hunt I've been on with my dad. He's like, you get the first shot, whatever. And
He didn't shoot this one.
Well, no, yeah, no, the mule deer, he didn't take the first shot, the son of a gun. But no, he's off to my right, and it was going through my mind. I'm like, Dad's never killed an elk before, maybe I'll just let him go that way. And I was like, no, my luck, he'll turn and go right away from us. So the sun was shining down through these like pole timber pines and stuff. It was beautiful, and the sun hit that rack, and I thought it was a 420-inch bull. I mean, he looked massive, and he got into a clear spot, and I shot, and he took off running, and we all just kind of stood there like,
Shot
now
elk.
what do I do? And we didn't really hear him crash too
No,
much.
no,
So we stood there, probably 20 minutes, half hour.
Yeah, probably
Something
something like that. Yeah.
Dad would work. You'd come over to me, and I.
Your dad's luck. I'm surprised a big, giant bull didn't come running up over the hill after
Yeah.
you shot.
Yeah, well, we're getting there.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
So we stood there, and we're trying to gather in a plan, and me and Brian were like, we'll stand here at this tree so we don't lose where we were. Dad'll, I'll tell you where I think he was and see if you can find blood. So Dad, walked real slow up to, I told him where I thought he was, and he seen blood, and he was just real slow walking. All of a sudden he hollered, Kyle, better bring your tag up here. And it was just like,
Yeah.
it was, the moments in the woods with Nolan when he killed his doe, buck, and turkey were pretty special, but this was just,
It's
it was
like
a whole different
surreal
level.
moment where you're.
Yeah, because my dad's been on, that was what, his fourth?
Yeah, something
I
like
think
that.
fourth elk hunt, and he
Yeah.
had never killed one, and I was there. It was just, the whole experience was incredible. So we get over there, we take a bunch of pictures, and Brian's about maybe worse with pictures than I am,
Yeah.
getting the right picture.
Yeah, I'm pretty bad with pictures.
Yeah.
Preston will tell you he makes fun of me all the time.
But I appreciate it.
Mhm.
You get one chance at a picture of
correct.
an animal.
Oh yeah.
So we got
Especially
all-
an elk. I mean, you can take
Yeah.
some time with that one.
Yeah.
It's crazy how big they are. And he
Mhm.
wasn't even, like, his body wasn't that big for an elk.
hmm
But, so yeah, we did all that and everything, and then we're like, well, I guess now we start
The work.
quartering
begins.
it, and I'd never done it. You've done it.
Yeah.
I'd watch videos and everything.
Yep.
So we got into it, and I'm just hacking away at the hide, and afterwards I'm like, maybe I should try to save the hide. I don't know, do something with it, but I didn't feel like
Make
carrying
like
it
a
out
rug.
either. What's an elk hide weigh? Probably 150 pounds? Or
Yeah, I mean they're heavy. Yeah, I mean
Yeah.
it's a lot of extra weight to carry out. There's
Yeah,
no
I-
doubt about that.
By the time we got there, I was like, no, screw that. So you sent a message out on your inReach.
I did. I pulled out my inReach, and I text everybody and just said, hey, we got an elk, and here's our pin. And I sent them a pin, and not knowing how it worked or anything because I never even tried it before.
Yeah.
So I had it hooked up to my phone, sent a text and everything, and we were standing there, and finally I got a notification, and it was not fast. What did it take? It took like 45 minutes
Something
to
like
send
that,
it,
yeah.
like the first time or something.
Wow.
So, but I got a message that it was sent. But we had, I mean, we got it all quartered up and everything. We put a limb up between some trees, and we got it all hung up and everything. And did you take the horns out on that? The first trip? I think you did.
I did.
I think you did. I think you grabbed your horns and the head.
and maybe back straps.
and maybe the back straps, and then
Yeah.
we waited till
How big are them back straps? Those things
I
are
have a
like
picture of me
You got
holding.
a
I'm
picture.
standing,
Yeah.
and I'm holding. It's like down past my knees.
Yeah.
They're
like
crazy.
4 feet long.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Did they? We took a trip out, and they met us at the truck.
they met us at the truck.
And it just
Yeah.
so happened that they weren't seeing any deer.
Yeah.
Oddly enough.
Yeah.
So they had just stopped back at the camp just to check in, and as your message came through, they stopped at camp.
Yes, correct.
And it just worked out perfectly.
Just
So they headed over towards us, and we took the first load out 3 miles. Luckily,
No.
there was a
5 miles.
5 miles. Sorry.
Nice little jaunt through
Yeah.
the woods.
Yeah.
Luckily, we were on this clearing that was close to a
Forest Service.
access-
Yeah,
Forest
Forest
Service
Service.
road.
Forest Service road. Yeah.
So it was decent walking,
Right.
all downhill. So that did kind of suck.
Not the way we came in where you shot the
No.
elk, because we went up. I wanted to get up above because we were going to hunt this clear cut that we had, and it's way up in there. But the way that I wanted to get up above it, and really the only way to do that was to cut up the ridge that we did. So it wasn't. We didn't walk a road on the way in.
No, it was pretty serious hiking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, we got
And
the
you probably
first.
had 400 pounds on your back already with all the.
I
gear
know.
you
I didn't
carried.
overpack too bad because I packed for taking
drinks
meat
and
out.
snacks.
Drinks and snacks. Yep. And I think that's where my packing lighter started, even back home here. But no, we got the first load out, and we just hung out at the truck because they had messaged us back.
Yep.
And said that they were on their way, so we just kind of hung out and everything, and they got down there. And yeah, I did have the horns because
Yep.
so we went and hid those in the weeds so nobody stole them while we were going to get the second load, and went up there, got the second load, and
It's good when you have a bunch of packs because
Mhm,
that
yeah.
really takes a lot of the workout of it. Because I mean, you, Josh, did Josh have a pack? No, Josh didn't have. Doug, Preston, me, you all had our frame packs.
yeah, Dad had, it wasn't a frame pack, but he took some meat.
Yeah. So we got all of it out well, except he had taken the horns out on the first trip, and we got everything else out on the second trip with
Awesome.
everybody. We got a cool picture of us all lined up with the elk all on our packs. There.
A hind quarter from an elk is
Oh,
something
that's-
to seriously pack out of the woods.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
probably quite a bit of weight too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No matter how good your pack is, it's still some weight back there.
Mhm.
But yeah, so we got that out of there, and I was.
That was awesome sitting by the campfire that night at Will's cabin. I have one of my really good friends that I graduated high school with out there. He's got a cabin there in
Oh,
Elk
okay.
City, so it's a really cool cabin. The basement's a little creepy. He's got one room that's in the basement that's really creepy, but
It's a cement block room in the middle of the basement with a door and a bed and a drain in the floor.
I think
Like a
Doug
prison
named,
cell.
was it Doug named it the pleasure room
Yeah,
or
I
something
think
like
so.
that. Yeah,
It was really
Yeah.
creepy.
yeah.
And if you ever look up Elk City, Idaho, I made the mistake of doing that when I was out there. There's a lot of unsolved mysteries from
Yes.
Elk
Oh, I
City,
can
Idaho.
imagine all that.
Missing people.
Yeah, all that acreage out there
Mhm.
that just.
Yeah, and I mean
Nobody's-
you're right in the middle of 2.5 million acres of wilderness. I mean
That is
yeah,
a
it's
lot.
it's easy to get lost.
That's why you found
so-
that grave out there.
Yeah.
I think somebody dug it, went and took care of whoever they want to take care of,
And then couldn't find it again. Yeah, it was
Probably
really
had to dig
really
another one.
weird.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was really weird. But yeah, sitting around the campfire there eating backstraps.
The inner loins we cooked up that night. Yep.
it just
Ooh, yeah,
doesn't
it was
get
fresh.
it just doesn't get much better than that.
Now, what do you do
so.
with the rest of the meat in that?
Well,
after you're
so
done?
the awesome thing about Will's cabin, he's got a walk-in cooler there.
Oh, no kidding.
Yeah,
It's
so
the perfect setup.
Yeah, I mean,
That's
it-
awesome.
yeah, I
Can't
mean,
beat that.
you can't. I mean, but you know, I would have given it. You know, I'm a pretty good guide, but I would not have. I would have been happy if we would have saw an elk, but for Kyle on opening morning to shoot his elk, and then I might as well tell your dad's story. Were you all done with your story? I think that pretty much covers
I
yours.
think there wasn't anything.
How far
extra.
away was it when you shot it?
It's about 60 yards, I
60?
think.
Yeah.
Yeah. Between 60 and 80
Through the
yards.
timber.
That's fairly close.
Yeah, and it
I
was
mean,
through the timber. Yeah, so it
Yeah.
wasn't.
Like, I'd like to say that if I would have had a bow, I could have killed it, but it was
a lot of stuff.
pretty thick
in
and stuff.
between
I don't
you.
know if I I'm glad I had a rifle.
Mm-hmm.
For
Yeah,
sure.
I think if I were to go on an out west trip for an elk or a mule deer or something, I'd probably want to take a rifle.
It's just one of those things that, if you have time, that's why I tell everybody, because we talked about when we started talking about going on the hunt, going out to Idaho, that, what do you guys want to do? Do you want to go archery hunting? Or do you want to go rifle hunting?
I voted archery. Bryan voted archery.
I voted archery.
Everybody else voted rifle.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
It would. Now, to shoot an elk with a bow is probably an exhilarating experience. Like, it's probably.
That's definitely still on my bucket list, huh?
Yeah.
Before
Maybe we'll get to go on one together or something. Maybe we can all go.
Mostly hunting.
That'd be fun.
Archery trip.
Yeah.
Out of a 360 hunting blind.
Yeah, out of the three. No,
New
probably won't be.
camera on it.
Yeah, I don't think. Yeah, we probably won't be hunting elk out of a 360 hunting blind. Probably.
I got some ravens hanging there. We can.
Well,
We
it's
pull
true.
them in just like turkeys.
It's
We chuck
true.
in the
Yeah.
blind.
It's true.
They come right in off the roost.
It's true.
So yeah, the next day, I forget. That's just my
Your printer
receipt.
freaking
It
out,
scares
yeah.
us every time.
Yeah.
Every time.
What did we do the next day? Did we all hunt? Because we gave that area a break.
We
You
gave
guys
that
didn't go in
area a
there.
break. What did we do?
Oh, the first day I forgot that.
Oh, I
Yeah.
forgot to ask. When you do shoot something out there, is there just black bears out there?
No.
You
Yeah.
gotta worry
Well,
about,
wolves and mountain lions, but there are no grizzly bears.
Okay.
Well, yeah, there's
so
no
like a
grizzly.
gunshot isn't like a dinner bell to anything.
Yeah.
You don't have
As
to
we were-
really.
As we were quartering it out, I kept looking around, and then I noticed Bryan looking around too. I'm like, "You looking for mountain lions?" Bryan's like, "No, I'm watching for wolves."
Oh,
I was more terrified of mountain lions.
I wouldn't
He was
want to
more
tag
scared of-
with any
Yeah.
of them. you
Yeah, I
know?
worry. And there's a lot of wolves in that area. So
We found that one spot that was all
yeah,
bones and stuff. That
yeah, yeah.
like
It's I worry
Like
way.
a den type. Ooh,
Yeah, I worry way more about wolves than I do anything else.
how big are them wolves out there? Like,
They're big. They're big wolves.
like
So
waist high. up
yeah, I
to
mean
the
they'll take
back,
down an elk.
I can
So-
take a wolf. I'm scared of a mountain lion.
Yeah, well,
Let's see, I probably do
That's a
all
whole
right
nother
with
story,
like
too.
one coyote.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know about a wolf or a
You
mountain
had,
lion.
you had a good point. You said wolves come in packs. And I
Yes,
was like,
correct.
Oh, yep,
Yeah, there's
that's-
always going to be
Yeah.
more than one
That's a good
wolf.
point.
yeah,
Mhm.
and they're kind of like a shark. You won't see them coming.
Yeah.
So
Mhm.
being hunted, you don't even realize you're being hunted. So
They all freak me out.
That's
Just-
terrifying.
Yeah.
it's humbling knowing you're not on the top of the food chain. That's why I always carry a handgun when I'm out there,
Mhm.
and my wife Tammy, when we're out there archery hunting, they're the carry permits out there reciprocate with PA, which is nice.
good.
So she doesn't get a hunting license, but she's okay to carry. The first time that she went out, when she had went and I taught her how to shoot a bow, and that almost caused a divorce. So I wasn't going to teach her how to shoot a handgun. So she went out to Conneaut Lake Sportsman's Club and took their handgun class out there. The first year we went out there, after she had got her permit, she wouldn't carry it loaded. And I told her, I said, if you're going to not carry it loaded, you might as well not even, because if something happens, you're never going to think
Yeah,
about
the time it
Yeah.
takes to.
and
yeah.
so now she does carry it loaded now. So, but I did get her a handgun that has a safety on it, and that makes her feel a lot better too. So
Yeah,
Yeah.
so the day before season, you took us on that.
I took
hike.
you on
wanted to check out a spot up on top because it was going to clear out, and Bryan wanted to see how clear it was.
I'd never been up in there either.
And it was about 13 miles uphill, like this.
Yeah,
I don't know how far it was, but it was.
If-
We were climbing from
Probably
tree
seemed
root
a
to
lot
tree root.
farther.
If you're gonna, you got to. Even Preston would say it's not a Bryan hunt unless he takes you on a death march the first day. So, but Preston and I ended up hiking into where we just went about it a different way. We went up there and checked that out, and
Not the way he took you.
Yeah.
not the way that I took those guys. Yeah, that was
Like it
rough.
was steep enough that if you would have slipped and you weren't stopping for a while.
Ooh.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
it didn't seem as bad, but coming back down, Doug was freaked out coming back down because of his knee and stuff. And
How was the visibility when we got up there?
Yeah, it wasn't super great.
About
yeah.
10 feet.
Yeah, and there were deadfalls everywhere. And
Oh man.
yeah, it
It was a nightmare.
yeah,
It was fun though. Good story.
It was.
Mhm.
Yeah.
See anything up there?
No, we didn't see it. No,
Nope.
we didn't see anything up
Got
there.
some good pictures.
Yep, got some good pictures.
So yeah, the second day we gave that spot a break, and then the third day you can tell that story.
Yeah, so we decided that we knew that there was a bunch of elk up in there, and I still wanted to do the same thing that we wanted to try to get up on the upper edge of that clear cut that we were and we didn't quite get to that clear cut when Kyle shot his bull. So Uncle Keith and Preston and I, we just came up in on the Forest Service road, because that got you most of the way up in there. And we got up, I mean, it was just starting to break daylight when we got up there. And the cool thing about that area up there is they don't get a lot of pressure. They don't get a lot of rifle hunters in that particular area. And my buddy Will had helped me do a little bit of scouting and kind of give me some pointers on where to go. And I think you guys might have said it on, oh, you did when you were talking about the Wyoming podcast, how locals, a lot of them, you know, don't get too far from the truck.
Yeah.
It's the same thing out there. I mean, things have changed a little bit, you know, with you know, all these guys wanting to do back hunting, but it's such a big area that, you know, we never ran into anybody when we were out there either. When
That's
we were
impressive
and
itself there.
yeah, so we walked up in, and the elk were still talking from the people that we had talked to and everything. And so, you know, just cow calling. I don't bugle very much most of the time. I like to use bugles for locators, but I've never, to say that I've ever like bugled in a bull, I haven't. I've always cow called in ones. I've had better luck with bugles when we're in close, like within 100 yards of where we think the elk are. We have better luck bugling, but we'll use bugling for a locator and then try to get as close as we can.
Okay.
And before we really start calling. It seems like if you can get within that 100 yards, I don't want to say you're guaranteed, but it's a whole lot easier if you get in close before you start calling. And you know, the elk, I mean, you said about calling turkeys. I mean, hunting elk is a lot like hunting turkeys when it comes to calling. And
like you have like a locator call,
yeah,
call, stuff like that.
And you know, it just seems like you get in close and you get a lot better results from it. So we were walking up and we were just stopping every once in a while, and I bugled a couple times, but not very much, and cow calling. And we got up to that to that clear cut where I wanted to get, and I was in front, and I think your dad was behind me, and then Preston was, and we just over top, and I told everybody to get in. There were cows out in the cow elk out in the clear cut, and I motioned for Uncle Keith to come up, and right when I pulled up my binoculars and looked, and I saw a bull rack just going over and in the back, and so it was quite a way. It was probably like 500 yards, but I just saw his whale tail going over the backside of the clear cut, and I told Uncle Keith, I said, but we sat down and all the cows kept wandering around, and then finally they worked their way around, and I was like, so I said, there's no way that we're all gonna try to sneak up around them. So I sent Uncle Keith down into the bottom of the clear cut, and he worked his way around, and I told him, just get into the bottom there where you can see up that other finger where they had disappeared to. And I said, I'll stay back here and I'll just call a little bit and see if so he walked down there, and I think he said he saw one of the cows again, but never saw the bull. So they came back up, and we were just standing there, and Preston bugled, and a bull bugled in a different spot than where, and I said, all right, well, we should probably I want to try to get up on the upper side because of the way the wind was switching. I wanted to get up on the upper side of the clear cut. So we walked back down just to the edge of the clear cut, and then a really, really old grown-in Forest Service road. I thought we would just walk down that road and then circle back, and it was a long walk to try to get the wind back in our favor. So we walked to the end of that Forest Service road, and you know, just looking at OnX, it's really I don't want to say it's hard because you have all the elevation differences, but you just really don't understand quite what you got across until you're standing there looking at it. So we got to the end, and I was cow calling like all the way out, never heard another bugle, but we got out to the end of that road, and what I thought was like a little bench that we could cross to get to the other side and up onto the back into the upper end of that clear cut. We do you need me to stop, Kyle?
No, I left my mic there. I just got to pee.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So we got out there and we couldn't cross where I wanted to try to cross. So I said, all right, we'll just go back and we'll cut back in on that ridge and that we started on and get back up on top of that. So, and by that time it was starting to get a little bit later in the morning, like, I don't know, probably about 10:30 or something like that. And we hadn't heard anything else bugle. So we got back to the clear cut, walked up the edge of the clear cut, and found a super nice spot just to sit down in some little pine trees right there. It was shaded. It was like a really, really nice spot. And we could see really good out into the clear cut. So we get out some snacks, and this is like one of the best parts of the story. Uncle Keith takes off his hunting boots and takes off his socks. And he's got his socks hanging in a tree, and he's got his boots sitting there. And Preston's tucked back in kind of like over this way. And I get tucked up in. I mean, it was perfect. It was so little log there, and I was
nice,
covered.
relaxing.
Oh, it was fantastic. The breeze was blowing perfect right at our face. And so everybody got their snacks out and everything. And I said, we're just going to sit here the rest of the day. We don't have any place to be. We know the elk are here. We're just going to sit here and we're just going to, and hopefully they come back out, or we hear one bugle or something. So, like, I'm sure Kyle will agree with me, and Doug will definitely agree with me. Lonesome Dove is like one of my all-time favorite television series. And
For good reason. It's pretty amazing.
yeah,
I'll have to watch it.
I
don't know if Kate will want to watch it, but
man,
I'll watch it in the mornings.
So I had downloaded Lonesome Dove onto my phone because, technology, I probably should be paying attention more, but when you're nothing to do in the middle of the day, like when I went to New Mexico on my elk hunt, I had downloaded the whole of 1883 with Tim McGraw, and I watched that during the days when I was sitting in New Mexico. It was awesome. So I'm sitting there, pulled out Lonesome Dove.
Just with the volume on, right?
Yeah, volume on. Just
no AirPods
no AirPods or
That's
anything.
why I do that in my trees too. When deer hunting, I'll just sit up there and I have it just loud enough so I can hear it.
Yeah, same thing.
Just
loud enough, just loud enough so I can hear it. And so I'm sitting there, and they were just in the very beginning of the movie where Jake comes in and they all sit down at the table for breakfast and everything.
Mm-hmm.
So that was right when I heard an elk bugle, and I'm like, did I just hear that? And Preston, bull, 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 and it was standing bugling 100 yards from us, right out in the middle. And Uncle Keith grabs his rifle.
He taking his boots and everything.
Yeah, I told him while you were in the bathroom.
Okay,
yeah. He pulled up and I didn't want to move from where I was sitting, so I had a very distorted view of the whole thing through pine trees, branches, and everything. So I didn't have a real good view of it. But
did you pause Lonesome Dove?
No, I think Lonesome Dove was still rolling.
Yeah, you don't want to miss anything.
Yeah, so pulls up and Uncle Keith shoots, and Preston says, "You hammered him," and racks another shell in. He comes out just a little bit farther and he shoots him and piles him up right in the middle of the clear cut. And we're looking at each other like, what in the hell just happened? And I mean, you couldn't ask for a greater scenario where we set up and where that bull came from and where he stood broadside, and
picture perfect.
Yeah, it was just so freaking cool. And we're all like just trying to put it all together. And I said, well, let's go look at your bull. And he says, well, I got to put my shoes and my socks back on.
I was going to ask, did he run down there barefoot?
No, so we went, and I mean, it was for a mountain bull for where we were at, or Rocky Mountain elk bull for where we were at in Elk City down there. It was probably like a 300-inch bull, probably somewhere in that. I don't think he's ever got it measured, but I mean, it was a 6x6 beautiful bull, and walked up. I videoed the whole thing when we were walking up on it and everything, which was really cool. And so, I mean, it was hot. It was the middle of the day. It was noon when we shot it. So we didn't do as good of a job as I wish I would have took better pictures. I didn't.
There was some really good pictures though.
Yeah, I know, but they weren't super.
They
great.
weren't Bryan.
Yeah,
good.
but so it was Preston. Like you said, Preston's just an animal too.
Yeah.
He Uncle Keith and I were skinning and quartering, and Preston was grabbing quarters and just grabbing them on his back and going up to
on his way.
on his way. And we made a meat pole there, same thing that we did. But the cool where we shot it at was
400 yards.
400 yards, 500 yards from where Kyle had shot his.
So right there,
Yeah, right
you
in that
found a hot
same
spot
right
there.
in that same area. So yeah, so same thing. We messaged these guys on my inReach, and
Did it take as long as stuff?
it did take a little bit. We stayed up there for quite a while waiting for them to show up. But
Was that the day we had gone to get fuel? in
yeah,
town?
you guys had went up there. Yeah. You
So
went
that day, I decided that I wanted to hunt with Doug and Josh, to deer hunt with them, and I wanted to see all the deer that they had been seeing, you know, and so
Killing deer.
Yeah, so I figured, you know, just send 3 guys back in there. One less guy would be better for elk hunt and everything. And see, I was kind of a bummer I wasn't with Dad when he got his.
That would have been
still
really
it was,
cool.
But so you guys got a message to us.
Yep, got the message.
And told us you had one killed. You met us out at the trucks, right?
No, you came back. You came up because I sent you the pin and told you just to come up to the same clear cut.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you met us out at the
I met you out.
Forest
I
Service
met
road.
you out at the Forest Service.
And
road.
you know, we met up there like it's just like a spike or a fork horn. You told us or something.
Yeah. I told it was a broken off spike.
Yep. And I'm like walking back there. I'm like, oh man, now I feel horrible. Like I should have let Dad shoot that one, and I could have shot the spike. I felt horrible the whole time walking back in there. And we get over to it, and we walk around the corner where they had the meat pole and the head hanging, and there's this freaking, to me, huge bull.
Yeah.
And I looked at Dad. I said, I am done bringing you out.
Yeah, 190-inch mule deer.
Yeah, between his mule deer and that bull. Yeah.
Yeah, it was pretty amazing. Then did we make it out on one trip?
We did make that one out on one trip
Yeah,
too.
I had a hind quarter, some back straps, and a bunch of the junk meat in my pack. And I'm telling you what,
It was a big bull. That
like
was a
the
really
load.
it
Yeah.
was a really big bull.
I said I could handle it, and I did, but it was way heavier than I made out. But yeah, it was altogether. I was
pretend not to be struggling as much
Yeah.
as you were.
Yep, but that was a pretty amazing trip altogether.
It was. Yeah.
And it did turn out that we did not kill deer and hunt elk. We killed elk and didn't see a deer.
That is exactly how it
I was
happened.
just gonna ask.
Yeah.
Did Josh and Doug shoot any
No.
deer?
I think
No.
we saw one doe the
Yeah,
entire trip.
one. Yeah,
No
and that's
kidding.
that's why Doug and Josh said the next time we go to Idaho, we're going to go hunt in Deer City and not Elk City. So, yeah, we struggled with the deer. So, yeah. But,
Yeah. Will probably won't listen to this, but thanks again to him for
Yeah.
letting us use the cabin. And Will is also one of the coolest dudes I've ever met. He works for UPS,
He does. He's worked for UPS for a long time.
and he's got like a like a 1-ton truck, Dodge truck type UPS, in a cowboy hat, a UPS issue cowboy hat.
Yeah,
Oh,
UPS
kidding.
issued cowboy hat.
Yes.
Yep.
I've
Coolest
never seen
dude
anything
ever.
like that. That's
Yeah.
awesome.
So cool.
Yeah.
He'd stop in a couple of times if he had a package past our route.
His route every day from when he leaves Grangeville and he delivers to Elk City and Dixie and Golden and all of these back people that live clear back and his route every day is 250 miles.
Wow.
And
That's a lot of driving.
it is a lot of driving. But he says that he's got the best kept secret for routes that UPS has. Just the where he gets to drive and everything. It is amazing country where he gets to deliver UPS at. So
Does he go through a lot of like public land and
oh
on
yeah,
his routes?
yeah. I mean, pretty
So he
much.
could do some
pretty-
scouting.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
He did some scouting.
Yeah,
for us.
he-
He let us know.
It was great. The map that he drew for us.
Yes. Oh
Yeah.
my God. Yeah.
That was great.
Did we ever frame that?
It's hanging up at
It is
it's hanging up at
okay.
us. Yeah. He drew this map out on like butcher block paper that he drew out and set it on and had it all drawn out, and
pictures of deer, pictures of elk.
Yeah,
that he
pictures of
drawn.
elk that he had hand drew. It was great.
Elk here.
So
Yes.
yeah,
No deer here.
yeah.
So what he said is it was dry, and as soon as it rains, the deer just come
Yeah.
out of the woodwork, and it never rained.
Yeah, it never rained.
But so I found out west that like a 45-minute drive to us is a 4-hour drive to them.
Wow.
So like for sporting events, like they play volleyball as dogs,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Like the one night he's like, yeah, we got a match down in blah blah blah. It's like 3.5, 4-hour drive, and it was like, yeah, we got to run over there.
Yeah, like running to the store for milk.
Yeah.
I mean, it's crazy that
That's wild.
he has. I think he still has it. I hope I don't lie on the interweb. He had a Volkswagen Beetle, a newer body style, but he was making his own eco diesel.
Oh,
And
yeah.
that's what he was running in that. And
Right,
it was
got
great
fuel
because
mileage,
and
too.
he, everywhere he went, it smelled like a French fry. So it was
You're
great.
gonna get
So
him killed.
I know I probably will. So
You know what happened to the last 2 guys that came up with a car that ran on water?
I know they've been
Yeah,
they've
They woke
missing.
up dead.
Yeah,
Yeah.
correct. Woke up dead. Correct.
Yep.
But yeah, it's great with growing up out there. The opportunities that we have, like well, I'm going to be going out here, leaving here in a couple weeks to go back out elk hunting, and I mean it's cool right now. We've got a bunch of elk on our property right now with trail cameras and our technology that we have. I mean, I had got two pictures of 2 bulls today with a bunch of cows in there today. So it's just really cool when we go out. But growing up working for the farmers and ranchers that I did out there, I have a whole bunch of property that we have access to. So
that's fantastic.
it's very fortunate for. And then Michael was his wife Andrea still works for the Nez Perce tribe, and she's in charge of air quality for so we actually live where my property's at is actually on the Nez Perce Indian Reservation, which is a little bit weird, but she works for the Nez Perce tribe for air quality. So all of the farmers, they burn off their crops, whether they're burning off like Kentucky bluegrass, or they're burning off wheat stubble, or they're burning off piles. So Andrea does all the air quality monitoring for that area, and then they have to get burn permits and everything.
Okay.
So it may or may not just happen to work out that Andrea may or may not blackmail certain farmers to if I let you burn, can my son or my brother-in-law hunt? So that may or may not happen every once in a while.
Probably not, but it
Yeah,
may.
correct.
Yeah.
It'd be a good tactic.
Hypothetically,
Yeah,
that would be a good
hypothetically,
idea.
hypothetically, it could be a good idea. And then Michael used to be. I don't think they even have that position anymore. But Michael actually worked for his wife for the tribe, going out and monitoring all the burns. So that was always a really good end too, when with Michael going out and all of his landowner relationships that or partnerships that he had with everybody. So yeah, we're pretty fortunate for where we get to hunt and stuff
That's
out there.
awesome.
So yeah, it's pretty great.
Side note about burning out there, wildfires are a very serious concern.
Right.
And me,
Just
Doug,
drive.
yeah, me and Doug and Dad, I don't think maybe Josh bought one of the little camp stoves, backpacking stove to heat up meals and stuff. And Preston showed up to camp that night. He's like, what are you guys going to do with those? We're like, I don't know, cook lunch tomorrow? He's like, and Preston had me and Doug so paranoid about wildfires that, like, I didn't even want to turn a flashlight on. It had me so scared. And it's a very serious concern. So we just had candy bars and stuff, because he
lived
wouldn't
off chocolate.
he wouldn't let us use our freaking backpack and stuff.
No, he wouldn't. He might be straighter arrow than I am, and that's really saying something.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
after
he-
I just got done talking about blackmailing farmers,
He
hypothetically.
Hypothetically.
Yeah, he was the wildfire Nazi for sure out there.
Well, it didn't help when Michael started the fire
I
there.
wasn't sure if we were gonna.
on our property.
Are we talking about?
Yeah, we were out there and we were doing some.
Was that year or was that the year before?
No, that was that year.
Yeah.
And they had pushed up a great big brush pile, and it was like June. I think it was like May or June, end of May, beginning of June. I was trying to think if that was Taylor's graduation we were out there for. But anyways.
I don't think so, because she was still in school when we were there.
Okay, all right. Well, so Michael said, "Oh, I'm just going to go ahead and light this. I'm going to light this pile while we're here." And Preston's saying, "Dad, it's a really bad idea to light this." He says, "Oh, it's not going to go anywhere. It's right up here at the end of the draw. I can't go anywhere." So we had rented an excavator to work on the road in the bottom of the canyon, and I was clear down in the bottom of the canyon, and I look up and I see all this smoke, and I'm like, I don't think there should be that much smoke. And
It's a
about
lot of
that,
smoke.
and
Oh,
about
no.
that time, Preston jumps up on the track of the excavator, pounding. He's got to get the excavator up here. The fire's out of control.
Oh no.
So an excavator only crawls so fast out of the canyon. So I'm crawling as fast as you can out of the canyon, and I get up there, and Preston's up with a shovel trying. I mean, by this time the fire is like probably 10 acres at the top of the draw.
Oh no.
And I go and with that excavator and cut a fire line right down the bottom of the draw that goes down into our canyon and get a fire line cut. And there's farmers showing up and everything. And Preston had called Andrea. Well, so Andrea's in charge of the burning. You have to have burn permits and everything.
Oh,
Do you
no.
think there was any burn permit issued?
I'll get a burn permit really quick.
Yeah. Because if you have to call in an airdrop, it's $100,000 every time they bring one of those loads of
Oh my
out.
goodness.
So if you hadn't got a burn permit, you don't have the insurance for it. So, and Andrea's in charge of all of this, and her husband was one of the lights of fire. The whole thing was
I'm gonna lose my job.
yeah, correct. Yeah, it wasn't good, but yeah. So we got the fire put out, and we call the other branch of Ass Crack Outfitters Hot Shot Crew. So we've always got that we can put on our resume too for that. So
I had met Michael once or twice before we went out there. He came back for your wedding, and I feel like something else. And I'd always heard stories of Michael about how he's not so much the adult. And I found out when we were out there, Preston is the adult
yes,
of those two.
Yes,
and he keeps Michael in line.
yeah, pretty much
The best he can.
It's a good way to.
You can only do so much when
It's
it's
a
your
good way.
dad,
There's
right?
never a dull moment. That's for
Yep.
certain. So, and he's been like that forever. I mean, I pretty much start laughing when we get there, and I never stop laughing until we leave. I mean, it's pretty good times.
That night that we
So.
stayed out there, other than me and Dad killing bulls, was probably the highlight of the trip, because they are the most welcoming,
Mm-hmm.
just the best, one of the best families I've ever met. Andrea made this dinner for us.
She
It
is a
was
5-star cook too. It's crazy.
absolutely incredible. And we stayed the night in their camper, and it was they're just the nicest people.
Yep.
The way they welcomed us in. We stayed up.
It's awesome when you find people
Mhm.
like that. You know, it's just
I don't know how late we stayed up, just having fun talking with them. And
Yep.
God, Michael's got so many stories. And
Oh, I know, it's crazy.
how many of them are true? I don't
Yeah.
know, but
Yeah, we could do podcast after podcast about hunting stories with Michael and I. I mean, it's we've had a lot of fun. My very first bull that I shot was a spike. Michael was with me, and this is a long story, but I'll make it really short. We had jumped this spike bull. We'd walked down into this canyon and jumped this spike bull, and didn't really ever get a shot at it. And so Michael says, "Well, let's just walk down there." He says, "Maybe we'll see it again." So we walk down, come popping up on this elk trail that we're walking, and Michael's right here behind me, and I stop and I see that spike turn its head, and I pull up at the exact same time. So Michael had this lever action 243 that he always carried. That was like, it was probably the very first lever action 243 that was ever made, and he pulled up and I shot, and at that exact same time he shot. And the muzzle of that rifle was like right beside my ear. And when he shot, I thought he blew the side of my face clean off. And I hit the ground. Elk's over there rolling around, and he said, "What's wrong? What's wrong?" I said, "You shot me." And I still don't hear good out of that ear because of the 243 that went off right beside my head. Fast forward, so that was in high school when that happened. Fast forward to the very first time that I had taken some friends of work and out, and my stepdad Wayne, we all went out, and we were getting ready to go out hunting that morning, and Michael opens up the closet and he pulls out that 243, and one of the guys says, "What the hell is that?" He says, "Oh, it's my trusty 243." And he says, "Do you have bullets for it?" And he cracked it open, and there was one in the chamber. And he says, "Yep, I'm good." Yeah. So, yeah, we have lots and lots of fun.
In your property out there, when we were there, all you had was the well.
Yeah.
Actually, you just got the well done.
Had just
and
got
you
the well done.
Pour a jar that you flew home.
Yep, and it's still sitting here in our refrigerator.
Yep, because Tammy
Yep.
wanted to have a sip of.
Tammy wanted water from our well, which is lined with gold.
But the
So.
the view from your
it's
property is
Yep.
unbelievable.
Yep. So we got our barn dominium. We've changed plans a little bit. It's just so expensive. Just with all of the people moving in from California and wherever in Idaho, and there's just not very many contractors. So, I mean, people are busy, and the billionaires are pushing out the millionaires. So we really, Morton Buildings put up our building for us, and then like I said, last year Tammy and I spent. It was great having Camden went out and helped us out with some electric. And
yeah, he went on a hunt. You didn't hardly let him hunt.
Yeah, I know. I wouldn't even let him hunt. I made him work the whole time. But so we hired somebody to do the electric, which actually Preston's working for the electrician now that did the electric in our place, and then I hired out a guy to do the plumbing. But everything else, Tammy and I and Preston and Michael and Camden and Faith, when we were out there, we got it all done. So really, all we have to do now is just take our furniture out that we've got. So yeah,
Awesome.
it's pretty nice feeling knowing it's all done and everything. And
Yeah, it's good.
yeah,
A lot of weight
So.
off the shoulders.
yep.
Was there anything else you wanted to touch elk hunting wise?
No, just if we wanted to go over any setup stuff or anything. Or
Yeah, what's your elk setup?
So I've got. I'm sorry, I've got a lift. I don't have a lift X. But
I know a guy.
I do. I know there's a guy.
I feel like you know somebody.
I
that
do.
can sell you one.
I kind of do know somebody, but this lift that I'm shooting is probably one of the very best bows I have ever shot. And actually, like I was talking to you for IBO Worlds, I was struggling with my target bow a little bit, and you had got me the new strings and cables for this, and I had started setting it up, and I got it all set up, and I shot it through the paper, and it shot a bullet hole on my very first shot through it, and I was like, I wonder what would happen if I shot one of my target arrows through it. So I have Series 22 gold tips that I use for shooting 3Ds. And I put one of those on there. I didn't move the rest or anything, and I shot a bullet hole through the paper with and I've never been able to shoot a bullet hole on my title for whatever reason. I just can't get a bullet hole out of my title. And so I was like, well, I wonder what that group's like. So I took my target sight off my target bow, and I put it on this, and I went out, and the first group I shot was at 60 yards, and I put 4 arrows in like the size of a silver dollar at 60 yards the first time I shot it, and I was like, okay, this is going to Worlds. So I actually shot my hunting bow at Worlds, and like I always tell people, the bow shoots way better than a guy standing behind it. But so lift. I was Kyle knows I was messing with my setup a little bit this year. I always go back and forth, and this could be a whole nother podcast too, whether you shoot mechanical broadheads or fixed blade broadheads for elk. And I've had my degree of difficulties with elk hunting, and where we hunt, it is so steep and so thick that if I can shoot an arrow that I can, in a best case scenario, I can get a pass through. That's what I want. I want to try to get so I've got blood coming out both sides. It is just so steep and so thick to try to find blood in the areas where we hunt. It is extremely difficult, the areas that they cover. So I'm shooting a new broadhead that I had learned about, because that's the other thing with as much travel that I'm doing now and how much time I have to spend on podcasts and YouTube, and I have entirely too much time on my hands. So I do an immense amount of research. And there's a guy on YouTube, Lusk, I forget, but he does all of this broadhead testing. So I was watching that one day, and the broadhead that I'm shooting is from Exact Archery. It's a 4-blade broadhead. It's a cut-on impact broadhead. It's really cool how the blade design is on it. But it was the #1 fixed blade broadhead that he tested last year. And I got some different arrows from Kyle. The ones that I had were cut just a little bit too short for this setup. I'd switched the rest. I love Hamskea drop away rest for shooting targets. Absolutely love them. I don't think that there's a more accurate rest than that rest, but the limb driven ones. But for hunting, the QAD with just how it holds your arrow in place, and to be able, for a hunting setup, I just really like it way better than the limb driven one. So I got it all set up, and it is shooting that broadhead system. There's something wrong with it, Kyle. It won't stay up if you there. So I wasn't going to worry about that. I figured I'd talk to a bow shop guy when I was all done with hunting season, and then talk to about that. But so yeah, so
that's
the one I just got from you. Yeah. So, but it's working just fine. So as long as I remember to pull it up here and not by the thumb. So I am right now, I'm shooting, it's a 485 grain arrow. I am at 83 pounds with a 29-inch draw length, and I am getting just a little over 292 feet per second with that setup right there at 83 pounds. So it is shooting absolutely unbelievable. I was shooting golf tees at 80 yards with it yesterday. So it is crazy how well it's shooting. So
tell us about your sight.
Kyle got me in a Booney Spot Hog sight that I love, and the biggest thing that I love about it, I've always liked vertical pins, and that is the only sight that I have found that each individual pin I can adjust. It's really cool how it's got locking screws for the 3 pins. They're stacked on top of each other, and each one of them are independently adjustable.
No kidding.
With a horizontal pin setup. It is really good. So
that is awesome.
So the bottom pin is my mover, and I got the sight tape on, and it gets me out to safely. I can shoot 80 yards without having to worry about any broadhead clearance. And then if I shoot the top of the bubble, I'm at about 95 yards. Now, not that I'm going to take a shot at an elk like that, but I mean inside of 60 yards, if you get a good broadside shot at an elk, I'll take that shot all day long if they're not jacked up, or there's always scenarios for it. But if I get an opportunity to put another arrow in at 100 yards, you can absolutely bet that I'm confident enough that I can take a follow-up shot if needed at that distance.
Pretty much that's pretty much the only reason I shoot over.
Yeah.
I shoot 100 yards. It's just for that. If a deer runs out there and he's in a field or something, I can get him to stop at 80, 90 yards. I'm going to take a second shot at him.
Absolutely. And it's funny because Kyle, I always made fun of Kyle about four fletch.
I wondered if we'd get to this.
Yeah. And I was like, I don't know why in the world you got to shoot four fletch. And I really made fun of him a lot about it. And then through my research and messing around with stuff, you can see, or maybe you didn't see on there, but they may or may not happen to be four fletch arrows that I'm running on that. And they're the Max Hunters. And I tell you what, I had to mess around with different configurations and stuff, but that setup right there it's really shooting really good.
So when the new Matthews comes out next year, I see that this lift's getting a little older.
Yeah.
And you have older stabilizers.
Yeah. But I'll tell you, and we'll just should I say this on your podcast or not? It may or may not be that I really like this camo pattern, and this camo pattern may have been on like 3 or 4 bows now. Just not saying it's just a coincidence that 3 or 4 bows have all had the same camo pattern on them.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So
Plus, not trying to talk you out of buying a new bow or anything from Kyle, but the original lift has lifetime limb warranty.
With
You
the
won't
bow,
ever have
not
to-
the owner, not the owner.
Yep,
It goes
as long
with
as
the
it's the
Oh,
bow.
does it really?
Yep.
Oh, well, I did have to change. You got me the new limbs
Mhm.
in for it, but it's been problem free ever since I got the new limbs in for it.
Yep,
So
but 5 years down the road, if they decide to crack or something,
that's true. I forgot
It's-
that they had done that.
And if
warranty.
you sell it, that guy can do it.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, you're definitely gonna have to upgrade those stabilizers.
Yeah, they're pretty cool though.
I don't even know what the new ones look like. Are they the same?
The bridge lock.
The bridge lock ones.
Oh, yeah. Okay,
skeleton
now that you
looking
say
ones.
that,
Yeah. So yeah.
I'm far behind on Matthew's stuff.
Yeah, we won't mention that Nevin still shooting.
It's been 2 years now. I haven't shot a Matthews, and I'm kind of I'm itching to get back into one.
One
honestly.
of the cool things with being in the industry that I am, so with machine
didn't-
tools,
you
I
didn't
didn't
get
talk.
into it.
I didn't talk about work at all, but I work for a company that's DMG Mori. We make machine tools that are built. They come from Germany and Japan. And one of the cool things about it, with everything with archery, and it's amazing how many different things, almost everything you touch has been involved with a machine tool at some point in time. But most of these manufacturers that we Matthews, Hoyt, Elite, they all have our machines. So Matthews has some other stuff now, but they did like Hoyt right now. They just bought a pallet pull system and they're looking at 5-axis machines. So all of their risers and the cams and everything are being made on our machines that we build and manufacture and sell and support. And then all the accessories and everything. It's just it's really cool when I'm involved with every once in a while I'll get cool projects and stuff, and I can't say it, but I was just here not too long ago. One of our product managers sent me over a print, and it was a broadhead for a broadhead
Ooh.
manufacturing company, and said, "Hey, I thought this might be up your alley." And they were looking at buying a machine for making these broadheads on. So
If Brian's boss is listening, I'll give him credit because I haven't even heard of this.
yeah,
He keeps
so-
his mouth shut.
That's why I'm not gonna say who it was or what it was.
That's
but
kind of neat. You
it-
get like a sneak peek
it
into
is
the new
it's
stuff.
it's really cool when just and understanding how they're made and the accuracies that go into them. Sometimes like when even like the Full Metal Jackets that I'm shooting they're straight within a thou, and most people don't even understand what that means. So it means a lot when I can look at something and I can see the quality that goes into it from a manufacturing standpoint. It kind of gives you a different way to look at things when you're looking at equipment. So yeah, it's really cool.
So you're definitely a Matthews guy.
Yeah, and I was Hoyt for the longest time until the Halon 32 came out. I came in and I was going to buy a new bow from Rich, and I don't even remember what it was that year, but Rich told me, he says, "Bryan," he says, "you got to shoot one of these Halon 32s," and I went out and shot that, and that was it. So
That was like the big change.
that was a very big change with
Still
Matthews.
super popular with people too.
Yeah.
You
Even
don't
now,
see many of them for sale.
no, and even on eBay now, I mean, they're still selling for $600-700
Yeah.
on eBay. I mean, it was a fantastic bow.
That was the year of the Triax, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very good year for Matthews.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
So, yep. But I just really like how they shoot. Like I said, I've struggled with my title a little bit, but it's like I said, more that I was always I like long axle to axle, but the more that they've done with cams and the performance that they're putting in with them, the way that they've changed the cable guards to move it closer to the center of the bow, the brace heights on them, I don't know now. I won't get any shorter than a 33. I know a lot of guys like the shorter if they're going to be hunting out of a blind or if they're going to be hunting out of a tree stand, but I think there is a point where and when I'm talking about accuracy, I'm talking about the accuracy that I'm looking for when I'm shooting like 3D competition. I want to be able, you're shooting at an 11 ring that's the size of a silver dollar out to 45 yards, and I just like the way that a longer axle to axle. But I think my title if I went, they have like a 34-inch title. I think I would like the feel of that a little bit better. So it'll be interesting to see what Matthews comes out with. Their new bows always come out around Thanksgiving time. Sometimes their target bows might come out a little bit quicker than that. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see what they come out with this year.
I think I remember seeing the title before the lift.
I will say I heard a quote about the Matthews.
You better not. You better not say it. You'll get in trouble.
Yeah, well, I won't say.
Yeah, don't say it. Don't say it.
No, I won't say it.
Keep it secret. Keep it secret.
Well, I think we're over our time again.
By a lot. I think this is the longest podcast. So
it is an hour and 20 minutes.
A lot of good stuff.
I think this is going to be a popular one.
I talked a lot.
You did, but that's what we brought you on here for.
Yeah, and it was great. I loved hearing all the stories and everything.
It's fun.
Now Nevin wants to go out west finally.
I kind of do now.
Yeah.
I want to go on an elk hunt.
Nevin's always been one elk.
Yeah, I know. This last week, I think you were talking about like, why doesn't Nevin want to go elk hunting? Freaking weirdo. So, and I'm the exact opposite. You know, I could give up just about everything but elk hunting. It's you know, the time of the year and the elk and the mountains and stuff, and you know, and a lot of it's where you grew up too. You know, that I mean, that's you know.
Is the air thin out there when you get?
You know where we're at, it's not bad actually. We're like between 6,000 and 8,000 feet where we hunt out there. So it's not like where you go like Colorado or you know Utah where you're like up at that real like above 10,000 feet. It still makes a difference with your.
Oh, I'm sure.
Yeah. It you definitely notice a difference, but it's a lot of fun.
We are gonna have to plan on.
Yeah, definitely. Now that we've compared it more to turkey hunting, you know, Lord knows I'm a
well, the good thing is you know a guy. So the only bad thing about this year is Idaho's going to 100% draw this coming year.
Okay.
Yeah, me and Camden were planning a hunt,
yeah.
And then this stupid wedding that he has put a kibosh to that, right?
Yep, correct.
I think that's what it was.
It was. So
thanks a lot, Camden.
Yeah, thanks, Camden.
Why would you get
Screw me
married
again?
Yeah.
what is this?
I know. Well, Camden's wedding, we had to change plans a little bit because you have to, in Idaho, you have to get your hunt licenses in December. So I mean, you're that far ahead.
Wow, you're almost a year out.
Yeah. So I'm getting ready to. I'm already planning an elk hunt, and Camden and Faith invited Tammy and I to dinner, and we went and seen a hockey game. And then after that, we sit down, and Camden and Faith says, "Bryan, would really like you to be on our wedding." And they said the dates, and I'm like,
sorry, can't do it.
Why would you plan a wedding in the middle of archery season for elk? But you know, it all worked out good. We went to the wedding the day after. We didn't even go to bed. We got done with the wedding. We went home. We got ready. We left for the airport. We went to Idaho. So it all worked out fantastic. Love you, kid. So
believe it or not, I could see Camden doing it.
I still hate him.
But yeah, so then we'll have to next time if you have me back again, we'll have to talk about my deer story that has become pretty famous.
Yeah.
So
you're in the PA book, aren't you?
Yeah, number 12 for the state of Pennsylvania for typical archery, and number 2 for Crawford County.
Wow.
And the top, it's only by like a matter of inches when you get to those deer. It's a pretty crazy story, but that'll be a whole nother podcast.
A lot of the record books is like, you know, you're right there. It's.
Yep.
But yeah, Bryan, appreciate you coming on.
Yeah, thanks for having me. I appreciate it. Nice meeting you, Nevin. Thank you very much.
Very nice to meet
yeah,
you.
nice meeting you.
And just so everybody knows, we are it's 10:24. We're about 6 hours past.
6 hours past Bryan's bedtime. So yeah, Kyle told me you're gonna have to stay up late, and holy cow, it is way past my bedtime.
On a Monday. Too.
On a Monday. Yeah.
Whoever shop Bryan's coming to tomorrow, I apologize. He's going to be
but what you will have to apologize is all of my guys have to do and I've given them a lot of leeway. We're past mid-year and we're doing mid-year business reviews. So if I'm cranky tomorrow during mid-year business reviews, you blame it on staying up too late being on the podcast. Yep. So.
One thing I want to add. I have have people coming up to me about the quiver on, quiver off debacle.
Oh,
yes.
So actually,
it's a big debate.
So, you know, and I've got something to add to that with my deer story that we're going to talk. And you can see that my quiver is attached directly to my bow.
Yep.
And
so you're one of us.
I am. But
that's why he's the first special guest.
But the outcome on my deer may have been a little bit different if my quiver wasn't on my bow.
Really?
Yeah.
Shut up, Brian.
So, but you see, it's still there. It's not
is still
coming
there.
off my bow. But I'm just saying that there was an opportunity that could have made a difference for what happened. So, yeah.
Yeah, I just had somebody come up to me at Nolan's football game this weekend. And Luke, what the heck's his last name? Mallard. Luke Mallard
yeah.
came up to me, and he does that hydro dip, and we were talking a little bit. He said, as we were walking away, he's like, "Oh, by the way, quiver off." I'm like, you have no idea how many people have said
We're
something.
gonna have to make T-shirts.
You should.
We need to make T-shirts.
T-shirts.
Yep.
Quiver on.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Kate said something to me too. She goes, "You know, I hunt with my quiver on," and I'm like, "Sorry."
That would be. You could have shirts that you could pick from.
Yeah.
When
Yeah,
you
quiver
sell
on, quiver on.
yeah, when you sell a bow, you could do quiver on,
You see
quiver
somebody
off.
in
And
public,
you
and,
could
you're
put-
like,
Yes.
Yeah, you could put indoor outfitters on it, and
That's
yeah,
a good idea. I'm doing
That'd
that.
be
yeah.
pretty cool.
And you could put on the back quiver on, quiver off, and put like either a check mark on one of the two or something. Yeah,
Yes.
I like that
yeah,
idea.
that's a good idea.
Yep.
Yeah.
It'll say quiver on, and then under it will say just wrong.
Wrong.
Yeah. You are wrong. Quiver on, or you are wrong.
All right, we better shut this down. Brian, thank you.
Yeah, thank
Yes,
you for
thank
having me
you.
on. I appreciate
Thanks for
that.
staying up late
Yeah,
for us.
absolutely. Yeah, thanks for having me. Appreciate it.
Yep. See you guys.